Yo, 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 what is up, my good friends? Cheers and welcome to Happy Hour with the Lincoln. This is where week by week I'll do my best to answer all of your stock market related questions. I'll do my best to rant about stock market topics and try to stay on topic. And I'll do my best to educate you, share my experience with you, just in attempts to help you become a little bit more successful, even if it's just by a tiny bit. Just make your life a little bit easier. That's what I'm here to do. Now, if you have any kind of topics that you think I have not covered that the trading community would benefit from, do me a favor, send them over to support@thelincolnlist.com, or you can post them down in the comments section. I read those, good and bad. Either or, makes no difference. And I'm also aware that most of you know about the DVD. I've been talking about it a lot, the free DVD Rock Solid, the 3 main trader components it takes to be successful. I'll post that link. I've got a great response. It is free. So if you haven't seen it, take a moment to check that out. Now, I got one more thing I want to talk about before I get started today. One more thing, so bear with me. I've done a ton of YouTube videos. I've done whiteboards, happy hours, rants. I have a DVD on the side. I've done tons of educational material. And to be frank, it's quite scattered all over the place. So what I've done is I've created something new for everybody. And the link is right here. It's called Trading Courses. I put together different packages for different skill levels, whether you're starting out your trading, or you're a novice, you've been trading for a little while, you just haven't quite been successful yet, or you're a professional. Makes no difference from what your skill level is. And I put together different packages along with different budgets. So whether you want to be cheap about it and just spend tiny bits of money on your education, or you really want to take this serious and you want to go to another level with it, I put together a lot of different programs, a lot of different packages. So go ahead and check them out here. Hell, one even comes with trading funds. I mean, how can you beat that? So right here's the link, Trading Courses. So here's what we're going to talk about today, which was in the comments section last week. Again, let me stretch out here and take a swig. The question was, I know a lot of you heard my story before, but how did I stay in trading when I was losing for 3 years straight? And if this is the first time you're watching or you don't know the story, yes, you heard that. 3 straight years of being a losing trader, and then here I am today. So how did I survive? And then how did I turn that around? Now, I've told this story before in different segments. I'm not going to go back and tell my whole life story about trading. I'll post this link for anybody that's curious about it, that hasn't heard the full story, wants to hear it again. I talked about it in a webinar. It's a much more detailed version. Right here it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by going back to 2001. And this was the point where I had capitulated at the very first part of my trading career. And then we'll work our way forward. Now, I think this is great for all of you because I don't expect you in today's day and age, with all the information out there, all the mentors, all the data that's available, that you'll go 3 years. That's a unique circumstance. I catch on very slowly to certain things in this world. So I don't expect that. But I do think each and every one of you have been in a spot, like I've talked before in past whiteboards and stuff. You've looked in the mirror and said, am I cut out to be a trader? Should I stay or should I go? Remember that song? Should I stay or should I go? We've all been in that spot. And whether it's 1 month, 6 months, a year, you said, am I going to do this? Am I cut out for this? Or should I leave? What should I do? So I'm going to try to answer that for you or help you with that. So let's go back to 2001. Now, this is October of 01, right after 9/11. I've talked about this before. After that, market tanks real bad. And I had capitulated at this point. Now, it had nothing to do with that specific circumstance because I'd been losing money all year. I had a great year prior. I made like $150,000, $160,000 trading during the dot-com. I thought I was the shit. But I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Hindsight, I got lucky. Let's just be honest. I got lucky. And I blew through that and then some all through 2001 once the market started correcting. So here I am, October of 01, no money, accounts blown up, and that's that. Now at that point, I'm just going through the standard mourning process of what just happened, And this is the thing that stocks can do to you sometimes. Not so much about the money that you lost. It's also that you feel like a total dipshit. It's like a double whammy. You lost money and then you feel completely stupid for losing so much and allowing it. So at this point, I don't care about the stock market. I swore it off. I'm never coming back. I don't care if they close the damn thing down forever. Good. I never want to look at it. And I was like that for a long time. So I didn't do any trading until about the summer of the following year, which would have been 02. I started to just, after the pain wore off about losing money, again, I kind of told this story, and you get over that initial and I don't know what to call that, initial shock about, oh my God, what did I do? I've ruined my life. I go to '02, it's like 6 months later, 7 months later, I start to think, okay, well, I did actually have a prosperous year. I just had a really bad one too. I kind of screwed up there. Maybe if there were some things I knew, I could avoid it. But I didn't really have any intentions at this point to become a pro trader. I was just like, well, let me see if I can just kind of go back in or trade again, make some money back or something. So I started to gradually work my way back into trading throughout the latter part of '02. Now, I don't have a whole lot of money, so I can't really do that much trading. So I'm sort of very, very part-time at this point. Then after that, you get to '03, I start to run out of opportunities as far as finding a career. So one of the answers to this question is, how did I survive? Is the first step, I didn't touch the market for 6 months. I was just too traumatized to do it. But once I started coming back, I knew, look, I had no expectations of myself. I'm not going to make any money at this. I'll try it again, see if there's some things I can learn, or maybe I can at least learn how to manage a portfolio later if I ever do get some money. And that's just how I looked at trading. Now, during this time, I was just in survival mode. I was just like, look, I just need jobs. So I just did odd jobs. I did landscaping. I did some telemarketing. I built bikes. I talked about that before. I did whatever I had to do to earn a living at that point. And I couldn't figure out what direction I wanted to take. Now, this brings me to about the early stages of '03 after kind of dabbling with it. I had looked for other alternatives in my life. I'll be honest. I was thinking, do I go back into the biking business? Do I get a job with someone else? Do I try to, maybe be a mechanic or something like that? Do I open up another type of a business? And what type of business would that be? Or do I go back into what I was good at when I was younger, like financial services, insurance selling? Well, I wasn't interested in going back into insurance because I did well, but I wasn't happy there. There were some other business ideas that came along, but to be honest, I didn't have any money to do any of them. Like, I couldn't open up an office or do anything like that. So really, when I sat down and I kind of lined everything up, trading is the one that made the most sense. It's the easiest one to get into. It requires the least amount of my funds right now. I have some experience in that area, and to truth be told, I really want to do that. I mean, that's where my heart is. If you said, if money was no object and you could just have any wish you wanted, said, would you wish to be working at a bike store? Do you wish you were a top financial advisor in the world? Or do you wish you were just a good stock trader? And I was like, I just want to be a stock trader. That's where my heart was. So I decided at that point, let me really try to make this work. So again, all I did throughout that time was study, work, and then I did odd jobs. I mean, I did everything. I painted houses. I swept up parking lots. I took jobs in the evening. I mean, you name it. I did it. Construction work, whatever I could pick up some money to help me stay alive. That's what I did. Now, I told this story somewhat before, and if you're in this situation, and I want you to first ask yourself this question. Is this your passion? Now, if you don't really know that, if you're willing to come back after getting your ass beat several times, that should answer your question. This is your passion. You want to be here. That's why I always say you can't make somebody trade. You can't look at trading and say, you see somebody that's rich and say, I'm just going to go in there and do something I hate. No, you have to be passionate about this job to deal with what it has. So ask yourself that, And like I said, if you're willing to get your ass kicked over and over again, then you came to the right place. So all I did was odd jobs. Now, the mentality that I had at this point was two things. One was looking at the big picture, and the other was looking at the near picture. Now, the near picture was, I just need to stay alive. I wasn't trading to make money. I was just trading to stay alive. That's it. That's all I was thinking about, survival. If I could live to fight another day, I was good. Because I eventually thought in my mind, and this was my theory, and I guess I turned out to be right, that even if I was dumb as hell, a box of rocks or whatever, that as long as I stayed in it long enough, I would eventually, just by circumstance of being exposed to it long enough, a light bulb would go off, even though I don't really believe in light bulb moments that much. You would only go, oh crap, I figured it out finally, whether it was 3 years, 5 years, a decade. You're like, just stay exposed to the market as long as you possibly can, and you'll figure it out. You will eventually figure it out, even if you take the longest, most ridiculous road. And then the second part that kept that kind of dream alive in my mind and that thinking was, I knew back then that the reason I got into trading was because of the freedom and the appeal. Like, I could see how the internet was going to evolve and allow us to do what you're seeing people do on Twitter now, which is travel the world and trade. Having that freedom to work out of home, work out of your house. I mean, to me, that was just like, you really didn't have work at home jobs back in the mid 90s, late 90s and stuff like that. You did, but it wasn't a thing like it is now. So you could see how that was going to develop, and you could see all of the great things. So when I'm talking about the short term, I'm thinking just stay alive, because this is what you want to do. Then I would think about the long term to understand that it doesn't really matter how long it takes you. Think about what's at the end of that rainbow. Think about that pot of gold, that if you get this right, you will be your own boss. You will work from home. You will make an unlimited income. You will travel the world. It's the ultimate FU business. You write your own paychecks. You make your own rules. You do everything that you want to do. I mean, how could you possibly want to do anything else? How could you do that? So to answer your guys' question, regardless of what level you're on there with yours and struggling, that's what did it for me. That was it right there. And it wasn't easy. I mean, after I came back a little bit there in 02 and 03, I mean, I didn't start making money till about 2005. So when this whole career started in 98, when I took my first trade in 98, I wasn't a trader until 05. Like, that was the first time I had consistency that I knew was consistent. I wasn't lucky. I worked for it and I put in the time for it. And it was at that point I said, man, I got this. I finally got this. Now, it's been education there, after that. But the amazing thing is, once I got it, it was like this whole entire shift happened with me. Like, I blew up the other way. I didn't blow up my account. This time my account blew up to the upside, like 5, 6, and 7. It's like the money was just rolling and rolling. It's like, wow. I mean, I all of a sudden just snapped out of whatever it was and became a trader. So you never know what the next day is going to bring you. And that's what the survival thing is about. You've got to stay alive long enough to get to that point. And then once you figure it out, you're good. Now, you'll always have to educate yourself, and things change. And like I said, when I first started, they were in fractions and stuff like that. And, with internet has changed, social media has changed the market a little bit, algos, you'll have to deal with it, but it's much easier for you to adapt. So keep that in mind, guys. I know we've all been to a spot where we're like, hey, this is my last day. And you feel dumb. Trading will make you feel, humbles everybody and makes them feel stupid at certain times. You work really hard, you put in a lot of work, and then you take some losses and you lose your confidence, and it hurts. So I know what that's like. So the key here, 2 main things. Decide where you're at right now, and if you're not profitable, don't worry about that. Think about surviving. Just do whatever you got to do to stay in this. Expose yourself to the stock market as long as possible. And when it's dark, it's dirty, and you really think, hey man, I'm done, just think about the big picture. Just think about what other options are available to you in life to be rich. What other will not discriminate against you like the market? What other job can you write your own checks? Think about that and use that as your motivation to stay, and just say one day, every day that you survive is one day closer that you're going to get there. So I hope that helped out, guys. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching this happy hour. I want you to trade them well. I want you to survive. I want you to stay alive. And I want you to thrive. Cheers. Till next time.